run you through everything that we've done to this rebirth of a 1949 Hydra Glide. So our actual bike started life as a 2019 Street Bob. To get where we are now, we've replaced the entire front end with a brand new Heritage front end. We've lowered the suspension very slightly, put a much older style tyre onto the bike as well. And then moving on with the fuel tank, again a newer style Heritage tank, but with the 40 styling badge on there. Kept all the original console, so all of this is all readily available. Down to the exhaust, we've got the new 2025 style header. We've pretty much cut it off, redone the muffler with the fishtail as well. On with the seat, we made a replica of the older style, which would have had a proper seat tube with the big spring down inside. Now, to get that to work on a new bike, it's not actually going to work out well because we've got a seat post and then we've got a big shock absorber right in the way. So we've actually only got a very short seat post, and then we fabricate all these brackets to get this hinged setup to actually fit onto the bike. We remake a cover which covers all of the shock, so that it just keeps it looking empty and shows off the hardtail sort of reimagined look on the back. Toolbox on the side as they were back in the day. Again, just fabricate the brackets to get that to fit on. Ever so simple to do. We decided to hide the rear disc on this one behind the cover just to take your eye off the modernness of it. The rear fender, they used this right from the mid-30s right through to the mid-50s. This is a pattern part. Again, we've cut it, remade new mounts to fit it on, reshaped all the back, modified the frame to get the fender to sit on there. Still works. Pop the bolts out and it will hinge up so you can roll the back wheel straight out. Keeps it all nice and simple. We've still got legals, got little turn signals all tucked away, hidden away, so you can't even see any of those. We had to change the rear wheel as well. The original wheel had cast wheels in there. And then round onto the other side, we've relocated the coil. Again, the coil was quite a big part, which normally sits up here. We moved that right the way down here, and then used the older style cloth HT leads just to give it a little bit of a different look. Decided to go for the horn, which would have been originally off an earlier model, off a Springer. We popped that onto the side there. Again, most of it. The footboards, you can't buy these for the new M8s anymore, so we modified all the original footboard support brackets, cut them all up and bolted them all onto the older style footboards. Just keep it real simple that way. That's about it really. Ever so simple build. So right from the original idea and concept of building the bike, which was back in beginning of June, obviously with other workloads, it makes the bike stretch out a little bit longer. So if you're left alone to do it, you could probably get it done in maybe 2, maybe 3 months for a fairly simple style build like this. But obviously I'm working with lots of other jobs all at the same time. We chose this one basically because the newer style bikes need to run the telescopic forks because of the new ABS systems on the bike. We can't put a Springer front end on there anymore unless you remove all the ABS system. I didn't really want to do that this time. I have done previous. So for this particular look, the 1949 was when they first introduced the telescopic forks. So the rest of the bike is very 40s styling, and then the front of the bike is actually looks exactly the same from 1949 to what it does now on the new Heritages. I love the back end. I just love the way the fender, the toolbox and the muffler all work really well together. You take one item of that away and suddenly it doesn't work. If I take the toolbox off and expose the brake caliper, it doesn't work. If I change the tip and put a longer pipe, it still doesn't work. So just those 3 elements and with the disc cover all brought into one, I think work really well. Don't think so. I spent a long time looking at little bits and pieces. If it got down to changing things, it would just get down to the fine details. I'd like to change all the Allen key headed bolts for an old style cheese head bolt. Already swapped out a few of them for hex headed. Other than that, I'm yet to ride it out on the road, so I reckon seat positioning should be pretty good. It should be sitting bolt upright on the bike to give you that old vintage feel. Not too much. Obviously we were limited using the original Harley platform. I don't like to cut the swing arms up. I don't like to cut the frames up too much. I like to keep all the original electrics and the onboard diagnostics and ABS systems. I like to keep all of that on there because it keeps it a much more user-friendly bike. Sometimes when you build custom bikes and they do go wrong, you take it to a dealership and they don't really want to get involved. They don't want to touch the bike. Whereas something like this, you can still plug it into the computer. It'll still tell you all the fault codes on the bike without the technicians getting scared to want to touch it. My name's Neil Sefton. I've been working here at SYKES for over 22 years now. We started heavily building custom bikes from 2009 onwards, and it's just sort of spiraled right from there really. Should we fire it up?